Hello students, I hope you are doing well. In our last lecture, we covered the topic under the human nutrition, such as what is meant by nutrition, then digestive tract. In the digestive tract, we discuss the regions of digestive tract. Then there is a first region of digestive tract, it is mouth and buccal cavity. In the mouth and buccal cavity, we discuss the topic that is structure of tooth. Then there is a human dentition. Next, there is a specialized cells in tooth. Then the second region of the buccal cavity is tongue. And after that, we discuss the topic salivary gland. That is the buccal cavity. Now, this buccal cavity which is leads into a next region of alimentary canal, that is pharynx. Now in this lecture we start the pharynx. Pharynx, it is a common passage for air and food. Means both the system, that is digestive tract and the respiratory tract, these are opens into the pharynx. Region of respiratory tract which is present into the pharynx, it is called as nasopharynx. And the region of digestive tract which is opens into the pharynx, it is called as oropharynx. Nasopharynx, it is the region of respiratory tract, and the oropharynx, it is the region of digestive tract. Now this nasopharynx or the respiratory tract which having a opening in the region of pharynx, and this opening is called as glottis. That is, the glottis, it is a opening of respiratory tract which is present into the pharynx. And this opening which is anteriorly guarded by a cartilaginous lid, and this cartilaginous lid, it is called as epiglottis. In short, the glottis is the opening of respiratory tract which is covered by a cartilaginous lid. This lid, it is called as epiglottis. Now what is the function of this epiglottis? Epiglottis, it is a structure which prevents the entry of food and dust particle in the respiratory tract. That is the function of epiglottis. The pharynx leads into a next region of alimentary canal, that is esophagus. All of you know that in the pharynx, nasopharynx and oropharynx are present. Means both the tracts are run parallelly in this region. Due to that, behind the trachea there is a presence of a tube of alimentary canal, and this tube, it is called as esophagus. The esophagus which is extended from the neck runs through the central rib cage up to the stomach. Now the histology of esophagus shows. Now here, what is the histology? Histology means the study of structure and functions of tissues of different systems and organs. Under the histology, there is a study of cellular organization, then chemical composition, then structure of the different cells. It is called as histology. Now the histology of esophagus, it shows a mucus cell, that is, there is a presence of a mucus cell. Then longitudinal and circular muscles are present. And the next point, that is the characteristic of esophagus, it is there is a serosa layer is absent. That is histology of esophagus, it does not show the serosa layer. Function of the esophagus, it is the peristalsis. Esophagus which shows the peristalsis movement. Peristalsis means what? Peristalsis means there is a contraction and relaxation which takes place into the esophagus, and due to the peristalsis, due to the contraction and relaxation, the food material which is leads into a stomach, that is the esophagus. Now this esophagus which is leads into a next region of alimentary canal, that is the stomach. Stomach, it is a region of digestion. It's having J-shaped structure. The stomach which shows three regions. The first region is cardiac stomach, second region is fundus, and the third region is pyloric stomach. In the cardiac stomach, there is a presence of a cardiac sphincter, means the esophagus which is opens into a cardiac stomach, and at the junction of esophagus and the cardiac stomach, there is a presence of a one sphincter, and this sphincter it is called as cardiac sphincter. What is the function of this cardiac sphincter? That is, it prevents the backflow of food. Then the second region it is fundus. Middle dome shaped region of the stomach it is called as fundus. Characteristic of the fundus it is there is a presence of a gastric glands. This gastric gland it secrete a gastric juice, and this gastric juice which is helps into a digestion process. It's having different chemical which helps into digestion. Then the third region of the stomach it is pyloric stomach. The pyloric stomach it's having a sphincter, that is the pyloric stomach which is opens into a next region of alimentary canal, that is small intestine. And the first part of the first region of the small intestine it is called as duodenum, means the pyloric stomach which is opens into duodenum. And at the junction of pyloric stomach and the duodenum there is a presence of another one sphincter, and this sphincter it is called as pyloric sphincter. And function of the pyloric sphincter it is to prevent the backflow of food. Now the histology of stomach. In the fundus, that is the second region of the stomach, it's having a gastric glands, and this gastric gland will secrete a gastric juice. This gastric juice which helps into a digestion process. In the histology, gastric glands are made up of from 4 different types of cells. These cells are, first type of cell it is called as mucus cell. There is a mucus cells are present in the gastric gland, and this mucus cell which secrete a mucus. Then the second cell of the gastric gland it is peptic cell or the chief cell. The peptic cell or chief cell it secrete pepsinogen and the prorenin. Then third type of cell which is present into gastric gland is parietal cell. It is also called as oxyntic cell. And this oxyntic cell or the parietal cell it secrete hydrochloric acid and the intrinsic factor. Then fourth one it is enteroendocrine cell. These are also called as Argent-Daphne cells. And these Argent-Daphne cells it's having 3 types of Argent-Daphne cells: D cell, ECS cell and the G cell. This D cell which secretes somatostatin hormone. Then ECS cell which secretes serotonin and histamine, and G cell which secretes a gastrin hormone. That is the cell which is present into the stomach, or there is a histology of stomach. Pyloric stomach opened into a next region of alimentary canal, that is the small intestine. Small intestine it is a highly coiled structure, and these coils are held together by a connective tissue. These are called as mesenteries, means the presence of mesenteries it is the characteristic of small intestine. Then the small intestine it shows 3 regions. The first region of small intestine it is duodenum, then second region it is jejunum, and the third region it is ileum. The duodenum it has a U or C shaped structure. The pyloric stomach which opens into a duodenum, at the junction of pyloric stomach and the duodenum there is a presence of a pyloric sphincter. Then hepatopancreatic duct which is opens into a duodenum. Now what is the hepatopancreatic duct? Hepato means liver and pancreas. Okay, that is liver and the pancreas. These both are the digestive gland. Above the duodenum, that is below to the pyloric stomach, there is a liver and pancreas are present at the lateral side. The liver which secrete a bile juice and it is stored into a gallbladder. Gallbladder, it is a sac-like structure. There is a bile which is stored. This gallbladder arises a bile duct. Then pancreas which secrete the pancreatic juice, and from the pancreas arises a pancreatic duct. The bile duct from the gallbladder of liver and the pancreatic duct of pancreas, they are unite to form a common duct. This common duct, it is called as hepatopancreatic duct, and this hepatopancreatic duct which is opens into a duodenum, means the pancreatic juice and the bile juice which is released into a duodenum. Both the bile juice and pancreatic juice which helps into a digestion process. Bile juice, it does not contain any enzyme, but it helps in emulsification of fat during the digestion, and it neutralizes the acidity of food. Next, the duodenum, it is a secretory region of small intestine, means there is a presence of a specialized gland, that is Brunner's glands are present into the duodenum, and this Brunner's gland will secrete the alkaline mucus. Then the second region of the small intestine, it is jejunum. Jejunum, it is the middle region of small intestine, and the third region, it is ileum. In the ileum, there is a presence of a villi, microvilli and lacteal. Ileum which leads into a large intestine. Large intestine, it shows two regions, that is colon and the rectum. Colon which is further divided into three regions: ascending colon, transverse colon and the descending colon. Then the second region, it is rectum. In the rectum, there is a temporary storage of undigested food which is placed. One more important point of large intestine is cecum. Sometimes cecum is referred as a part of a large intestine. What is the cecum? Cecum is a blind pouch which is present at the junction of ileum and colon, that is at the junction of small intestine and large intestine. This region, it is also called as ileocecal junction. The cecum, it shows two important features, that is first one is there is a presence of a symbiotic microbes, that is the bacteria which lives inside the cecum. Then the second one, it is a vermiform appendix which is arises from the cecum. Appendix, it is a vestigial organ in human body. What is meant by vestigial? Vestigial means functionless. That is, appendix, it is a functionless organ of the human body. This appendix, it is functional into the herbivorous animal, because the function of the appendix, it is digestion of cellulose. Cellulose which is present into the plant, and the herbivorous organism, herbivorous animals which is feeds on the plants. Due to that, there is a need of cellular digestion, and this appendix which is helps into a cellular digestion in the herbivorous animals. Then the next point, it is anus. Anus, it is the terminal opening of alimentary canal. Function of the anus, it is egestion, or this egestion process, it is also called as defecation. What is meant by egestion? Egestion means removal of undigested waste material from the body. It is called as egestion. And unwanted waste material or the undigested food material means what? That is the fecal matter. Fecal matter which is removed out from the body, it is the function of anus, and this process, it is called as defecation. Okay student, anus, it is a last point of alimentary canal. In our next lecture, we will discuss about the digestive gland, that is salivary gland, liver and the pancreas.